Major breaking news, Manchester United have been given the green light to pursue Matthias de Ligt from Bayern Munich. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about a transfer roundup, our three most heavily linked targets to come to Manchester United: Matthias de Ligt, Manuel Ugarte, and as well Joshua Zirkzee. But before we get into today's video, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload of Red Devils TV, whether it's long form content, live streams or shorts, and as well comment down below as it really helps the algorithm. It lets me know you guys and your opinions on players we're talking about and the detail of the video, so I always appreciate the support. Leave your comments in, get the likes in, it really helps out the YouTube algorithm. But anyway, let's get right into the video. I can't wait to be talking about this type of transfer news. So first of all, de Ligt, that is the most breaking news, so let's get it talking about. Now, Manchester United have been given the green light to pursue Matthias de Ligt, confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. Here we go, is almost upon us, around the 85% club now. We're not 90% club just yet, but it is looking very, very promising to sign Matthias de Ligt. Now, from what I'm reading here, that personal terms will not be an issue for Manchester United and de Ligt. It's all about Manchester United and Bayern Munich agreeing a transfer fee. But according to the reliable Ben Jacobs as well, who's added a bit extra information on this transfer deal, that Manchester United could be getting a deal done for around 40 million euros for Matthias de Ligt. Now, for me, that is absolutely mental, because Matthias de Ligt for me was seen as one of the best upcoming centre-backs a few years ago, and people say that he hasn't been that good at Bayern Munich, but I think he actually has. And if you look at the stats as well, they don't lie. He has been equally as good as Bayern Munich as he has been at Juventus and Ajax. It's just fans out there on Twitter, the little keyboard warriors who just shag Twitter clips and highlights and think that's what makes a player. De Ligt is a phenomenal world-class centre-back, and if we could get him for £40 million at only 24 years old, oh my god, the partnership of him and Alessandro Martinez, that would be incredible. Like, it would be more solid than the iceberg that the Titanic drove into. Now, Martinez and de Ligt, would you ever have thought about hearing that type of partnership? That's something you do in a FIFA career mode. That shouldn't be happening in real life. We're Manchester United. We've been shit for so many years now, and I'm going to get onto Ineos towards the end of the video, but what they seem to be doing in their first official summer transfer window is incredible, and I'm all for it. So we're going to be talking about other players as well that we're going to be getting onto. But yeah, pretty much United have just gone full on de Ligt because the Branthwaite deal fell through. Everton wouldn't budge for their £75 million asking fee, and the Todibo situation where it is impossible for us to sign Todibo because of us being in the same competition as Nice, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe obviously owns Nice, so there's a bit of complication about that deal. So Todibo might become a Manchester United player in the future if Man United get into the Champions League, for example, or if Sir Jim Ratcliffe actually sells the club Ineos. But the way I look at it is that Branthwaite, for me, if de Ligt was the top, like, you know what, let's say for example, if you gave me a list of which players would you rather sign, de Ligt, Branthwaite or Todibo, I'd honestly say de Ligt must buy, Todibo great choice, and Branthwaite will be my final option. Branthwaite is a very good upcoming centre-back, but for me, he's just another overhyped English centre-back. You know, we've made the same mistake on Harry Maguire, and we can't make the same mistake on someone like Branthwaite. And when Everton aren't budging for £75 million, this is what I respect about Ineos, how they've not, like, done the United tax and paid the ridiculous amount of money. They've said, no, we'll pay this much amount. If you don't want to sell him, you don't have to sell him. No one's forcing you to sell him. Oh wait, no, you need to sell because of your financial situations. So we will offer you 30 to 40 million pounds for Branthwaite. Will you take it or leave it? They've rejected it, so we've moved on to elsewhere, and we've moved on to a much better target in Matthias de Ligt. Now, I just can't wait to see what he's like. Obviously, this season hasn't been a great one for him, only making 30 appearances. He has had a few injuries this season, but so's half of Manchester United's team, so have a lot of players in world football. The injuries this season throughout football, it has been like unheard of. So many managers have complained about it. So many media pundits I've complained about. It's been such a mysterious season when it comes to injuries. Just so many players have been impacted and ruled out of injuries. It's been ridiculous. So Branthwaite having so I keep saying Branthwaite. If De Ligt had these amount of injuries, they haven't been that severe. Obviously, he's missed a couple of weeks, but I don't think that's that bad. Obviously, I think United need another centre back as well as De Ligt, but the way I look at it, De Ligt and Martinez would be an amazing partnership option. But no, De Ligt, I just look at him and I'm like, it shouldn't be happening. It's just like I said, it's like a FIFA career mode. I just never thought we'd be able to sign this player of this much of caliber, but the fact that personal terms are not an issue, obviously we've not officially agreed them with De Ligt yet, but it won't be an issue according to Fabrizio Romano, and he's very rarely wrong. And obviously with the Ben Jacobs information that he's added on, I think it's a very promising situation. He could be the first actual signing for the new season, and hopefully he's there for pre-season. Obviously pre-season starts on the 15th, so it's 2 weeks today that it starts, I believe, or the 2 weeks yesterday, whatever it is. But no, so obviously that's the first player we need to talk about, and the second player is Joshua Zirkzee. Now, Bologna have had an incredible season in Serie A, and what they've done to achieve it is incredible. Obviously, Zirkzee is one of them players that's being mentioned to be moving away. Now, the manager, or I think it was the principal of the actual club of Bologna, have come out and said that I believe Joshua Zirkzee will 99.9% leave Bologna this season because of his €40 million release clause. Now, €40 million release clause for a young striker. I mean, he's 23 years old. I think that's a very, very good asking price because strikers are very hard to come around unless you take a gamble on a very young striker like Manchester United did with Rasmus Højlund. Now, I've seen quite a bit of stick about Rasmus Højlund. I'm going to make a video on that in a few days' time. But basically, I think that these two players would counter each other perfectly. They're both tall, physical strikers who have a lot of pace on them and have that poacher's instinct and aren't afraid to shoot and score a goal. They do have similar traits, but they also have different traits as well. And it's more of the play style, the way that these players play. Obviously, Rasmus Højlund likes to get in behind the defensive line and run onto the ball, where Joshua Zirkzee is more of your classic number 9 and will come short for a ball. So I feel like having that extra and difference as a striking option will be very good for different games. And if you're going to be playing a high line, or if you're going to be playing counter-attacking football, you know what I mean? Like, that'll be a difference that Erik ten Hag will have an option for. Obviously, Zirkzee has had a few injuries when it comes to his hamstring. But again, like I've said with the injuries shouldn't really be a massive concern because of the situation that this season's gone about. But Joshua Zirkzee, I think he'd be an incredible player. Obviously, AC Milan were sniffing around Joshua Zirkzee around end of May to early June time, but they refused to pay the 12 million agent fee that obviously Zirkzee's agent was asking for. But apparently United and Zirkzee's agents have a gentleman's agreement that they will pay a discounted agent fee of around 6 to 8 million. Now, that is a lot for an agent fee, but at the same time, when you've got a player like Zirkzee who is going for €40 million, that's like £35 million. Like, you look at it and you think, okay, there are going to be some add-ons. That's whether it's for the agent or whether it's bonuses for the player himself. Like, these will happen because of how cheap we're getting this player for. It's like a free transfer. Like, normally a free transfer player will have much higher wages because the club aren't paying a transfer fee. Like, you look at Jesse Lingard when he went to Nottingham Forest. But anyway, yeah, with Joshua Zirkzee, I would happily take him at Manchester United. Could he bench Rasmus Højlund? I think it'd be very competitive between both players, but at the same time, I do back Rasmus Højlund more than Joshua Zirkzee. But obviously, I've had a season of watching Rasmus Højlund where I've only watched probably 1 or 2 games of Zirkzee. Obviously, he's done all right from what I've seen, but it's been mainly Twitter compilations that I've seen of him, and obviously they're going to make him look good. They're not going to put him losing the ball on the video, are they? So from what I've seen of him and a bit of research that I've done of him, I do feel like that Joshua Zirkzee would be a great fit for Manchester United. Now, finally, Manuel Ugarte. Now, a player as well that it's a tricky one because he hasn't had a very good season at PSG. But if you've watched this player for the likes of Uruguay's national team or at Sporting Lisbon before he actually signed for PSG, you'll know he's a very good player. And I made a video of him over a year ago now, before he left for PSG, that Man United should be signing him. I think he's a quality player. Obviously, this was before Kobbie Mainoo's rise into the first team. And I was saying in that video that Ugarte and Casemiro will be a brilliant partnership. But you look at the way Erik ten Hag wants to play football, and it seems like he doesn't actually want a traditional number 8 who does all the defensive work. He wants players that can progress with the ball. He wants players that are deep playmakers who are also physical. Like, you look at Kobbie Mainoo and Ugarte, and they would complement each other very, very well. And I feel like if Erik ten Hag sticks to his traditional 4-2-3-1 formation, that would be our double pivot completely sorted and locked off, possibly for 10 years, because Ugarte is quite young. I think he's only 20 or 21 years old, maybe 22, I'm not too sure. So, from what I see, PSG are willing to sell. Were being valued at around £40 million for Ugarte. So for Matthijs de Ligt, Zirkzee and Ugarte, that would be 120 million, which, yes, does sound a lot in euros. But at the end of the day, you look at it and you think, well, that's 3 key positions that Manchester United need to sign, and we've not sold anyone yet. And obviously, these deals haven't happened yet, and obviously, they probably will happen. I'd say that Ugarte is probably the least likely out of the 3 to happen, but Zirkzee is looking really positive. The Ligt is, today has just looked really positive. We've literally just got that confirmed news from Fabrizio Romano. Ugarte is just one of them players that is being mentioned, but I do feel like that with the possibility of Bayern Munich also sniffing around Ugarte with Joshua Kimmich possibly leaving, I do feel like that they might get that player, but at the same time, United could also get this player. I just, like I said, this player in Ugarte is the least likely to happen out of the 3 based on current information that we currently have. But again, them 3 players that I've mentioned would absolutely solve Manchester United, and Manchester United would then go from a okay starting 11 to a team that needs a few holes to a great starting 11. Like, let's say, for example, this would be our team. Onana in net, Diogo Dalot at right back, Luke Shaw at left back, with Lisandro Martinez and Matthijs de Ligt as the centre backs, with a double pivot up front, or in midfield, as Kobbie Mainoo and Ugarte, with Rashford or Garnacho on either wing, possibly Antony or Amad Diallo as well, with Bruno Fernandes through the 10 position and Rasmus Højlund or Joshua Zirkzee through the middle. Now, that starting 11 looks really, really threatening for whichever way you want to actually take it on and look at it. But we go from a 6 out of 10 team to probably an 8 out of 10 team. And then obviously, once we start strengthening the bench, if we get another signing, that would be amazing. And I feel like that Ineos have looked at the issues this season and they've targeted where United need to prioritise transfers the most. I would say we might need a third choice striker for I'd say maybe Danny Welbeck. Bring Danny Welbeck back for £5 million for all I care. I just feel like having that third striker, unless we're going to promote someone like Ethan Wheatley from the youth team, then I just feel like having that third striker option would be beneficial to us, as in case we have an injury like Rasmus Højlund or Zirkzee. It'd just be good to have that extra striker there, in my opinion. But like I said, obviously, it's time to talk about Ineos. Now, Ineos for me they've not signed anyone yet, but they have not put a foot wrong so far as Manchester United co-owners. Now, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has shown real motive for Manchester United and clearly wants to get us back to the top. There was a lot of rumours that he's just a British glazer and he's just here for the dividends and the investment, and he's just here for the extra money he was going to earn financially. But from what I've seen of him, he looks like, with the right people that he's been bringing in, with Omar Barradia, like Jason Wilcox, obviously now Dan Ashworth, Sir Jim Ratcliffe really looks motivated to make Manchester United great again, and I'm all for it because my prime teenage years were David Moyes, Jose Mourinho, Van Gaal, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Like, we've not won much over the last decade, and seeing the manager under Erik ten Hag, who I've backed from day one, I'm so glad we've decided to keep him. And obviously with the likes of Ruud van Nistelrooy as well, possibly coming in as assistant coach, it's just looking like an exciting start to the season, and I can't wait for pre-season in a couple of weeks' time. But Ineos, yes, we haven't signed anyone yet, but so far they haven't put a foot wrong in my opinion. Obviously, we need to get the deals done. But so far, obviously, the transfer window's only been open 2 days or 48 hours, whatever you want to say. And I just look at it and I'm like, you know what? The green light, let's go for it. And I'm looking forward to a very positive season. But anyway, if you made this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. Once again, if you haven't already, leave a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. It promotes my videos a lot more, and it will suggest other type of content that I've done before you as well. And also share the video, because I always appreciate shares. Always welcoming Reds and even non-biased fans onto this channel. Whatever team you support, you're always welcome on my channel, as we have rival fans coming on the channel as well when we do previews throughout the season. But anyway, comment down below your thoughts on the breaking news and the players that are linked to Manchester United, and as well subscribe if you are new and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. But anyway, I've been your host Daniel, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.